yesterday's class. I trust we had a very wonderful session. Okay, so I have a hand up. All right, Professor Taiwo, please can you unmute and let's hear from you.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, Program Director and the entire class.
Good afternoon, Prof.
Yesterday we dwelt on talent acquisition, under which we looked at recruitment and selection, handled by Pastor Mrs. Ifeoma Eze. It was an all-day long class, very inspiring and interesting. We looked at several factors ranging from the selection, recruitment, the characteristics of the recruiter, what we should look for in selection process, what are the methods to explore in recruiting, whether interview, what are the areas or places we could look for to recruit using the social media, using background check to determine who is to be recruited. And importantly, it was stressed that recruiting, it is important to bring in the right person into the right job so as to ensure productivity. Then we consider several practical measures or practical case studies which inform interaction yesterday. So summarily, looking at selection process in any organization, recruitment, that they could use the human resource person who is expected to be an expert in recruitment and some of the characteristics or qualities he should possess. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Prof, for that wonderful recap. Someone sees else's hand is up. That's Emanuela. Please, Emanuela, can you unmute? And let's hear from you, please. Emanuela.
Okay, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, I'm just going to, I learned a whole lot yesterday, but I'll just focus on probably just two. One of them is the place of the HR manager in an organization. In the introductory class you took us, you broke down using that diagram, the diagram to show the relationship between the human resource and the organization under organizational planning. And then it made me understand that a human resource manager cannot have an agenda outside the agenda of the organization. It taught me a lot about the place of the human resource, basically, with that. And then with the case study you brought, it showed also the importance of vision casting for any organization. And it is the vision that the organization has that the human resource personnel can help. That's where the human resource personnel can actually now help the organization achieve the purpose. And I also discovered that the purpose of the human resource is not just to sit down and manage the employee. Managing the employees is to one goal, which is to ensure that the business meets their meets their plan, meets their purpose for existence. So it also made me understand how crucial and how important the human resource role is to the organization. It's not just about payroll, but ability to recruit talent with the sole purpose of ensuring that the company meets its target, meets its goals as an organization. That's one I really picked from, one of the things I picked from your class, basically. I picked a lot too from Pastor Ifeoma's class. Yes, Pastor Izzy's class, but I'm just focusing on this one. Thank you. So others can say the rest.
All right, thank you so much, Emanuela. Thank you for that wonderful recap once again. Now, for the sake of time, I will quickly want to run through what I have on job analysis, and then we are going to be divided into groups to develop jobs. Okay. All right. So from the recap we just had, talking about organizational planning, and then talking about the relationship that comes through vision, mission, and all of that. You know, Professor Taiwo said something yesterday. He wore two caps yesterday when we were dealing with vision, mission, and all of that. The first one was that if an organization was to exist without a vision, they should close. But on the second cap, being a HR, you can't just tell them to close. Perhaps you need to sit down with them to find out why they really established the business, and then be able to counsel them or advise them appropriately. Now, by having an organizational plan, remember it is from the organizational plan we have our HR plan. Now, inside our HR plan, we have the organogram, the organizational chart, the organizational structure. Inside the organizational structure, you have different positions, as the case may be, based on different organizations. Some design organogram based on titles, like offices or roles, while some design their charts based on the tasks that are to be done, while some design their organogram based on the departments involved in the organization, while some others design the organogram based on the product or services that they do render. But for the sake of this class, we'll be looking at more on organogram based on jobs that's based on the specified tasks, roles for or within the organization. All right, so we're going to be focusing more on job structuring based on jobs. All right. Okay, so that being said, remember in the first introduction to this whole course, there was a place we had a pause and we discussed about analysis and analytics. I hope someone still remembers. But let me confirm that everyone is seeing my screen first. Please, if you can see my screen very well, please type 55. You can see my screen very well. Job analysis module 5, type 55. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so let's get to reminding ourselves of what analysis is and what analytics is so that we can forge ahead. Can someone help us? Please feel free to raise your hand and let's discuss it. Okay, so someone is asking, what's the name of the lecturer? The name of the lecturer is Eburuche Banito. Okay, so this person speaking is the lecturer, Eburuche Banito. All right. So analysis and analytics. Please, I'm not talking about job analysis and job analytics. No, I'm talking about analysis as a single word, and then analytics as another single word. What did we talk about in these two things? I think it will help us in refreshing our minds. Okay. If you raise your hand, I think I'll prefer discussions rather than too much typing in the chat room. Or if you type in the chat room, I will read it out. Analytics and analysis. Can someone help us with the difference once again? Analytics and analysis. So let me see what someone's written. Deborah said, okay, let me start with Edigan first. Edigan said, analysis is breaking down of information, while analytics is processing of data, all right? Debbie said, analysis is breaking down to find the solution, Analytics is the processing of data for the purpose of decision making. All right, thank you so much. I love that. From Doyin, he or she said analytics is sorting or processing data, while analytics involves application of data to specific issues like decision making. All right, thank you so much. So principally, if we bring analytics to this, analytics, as we can agree on, is simply breaking down a situation, an event, an object, and then trying to understand each of the components, and where it is in a case of finding out the challenge, we would be able to identify what the challenge is. It's principally about breaking down an event, an object, a component into different elements, and then begin to study them individually so as to understand them. All right. Why analytics is the use of processed information for the purpose of decision making, or applying the knowledge of those information that have been processed in different situations, primarily for the purpose of decision making. In the same case, we will bring that in here. So when I say job analysis, what does it really mean? In your own understanding, what does job analysis mean? What does job analysis mean? Can someone help us? Job analysis, what does it mean? Okay, so Favor is saying, good day, everyone, happy Sunday and happy Workers' Day. All right, so same to you, Favor. So who can help us? All right, so I have Christina. Please kindly unmute and listen from you, Christina.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Workers' Day. So for me, my own understanding is that it means, giving out details of what the job is in terms of description, in terms of understanding the items you're actually looking at. So for example, when you talk about job description, okay, maybe the role, the responsibilities, who the players of the game are, in terms of, okay, who I'll report to is the person the head, because in the job analysis, you also need to state where, okay, if I'm saying that this person is going to head a team. So even if you're heading a team, there could be like a hierarchy, who you're eventually reporting to and the people that will be reporting to you. So basically it's about, understanding everything you need to understand about a job that is being, maybe advertised or being sought for from the organization. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Identifying, I love that word, identify. Okay, so from Debbie, she said job analysis is the breaking down of job specifics and components to achieve the overall company objective. I love this. So bringing analysis into the whole situation is breaking down the job, or breaking down of job specifics and then into components to achieve overall objectives. Thank you so much. All right, job analysis is a critical aspect of organizational setup. You see that thing we spoke about yesterday, organizational planning, that at the end of the day will land us to HR plan. Now inside HR plan, there's what we call job design. All right, and before we design any job, we must have analyzed the job. Okay, before we design any job, we must have analyzed the job. And in analyzing the job, we want to first of all look at the overall corporate objectives, overall corporate goals, and then we'll begin to ask ourselves, to what component can we break this organization into, or to what component can we break our operations into, that they can work interdependently and be able to deliver the overall goal. And then by the time we'll break them into interdependent units, or what we call departments, then we'll now begin to ask the question of what should each department do? And by finding out what each department should do, we now come up with what will be the KSAs required for each of those units. Now, if it is a department that is made up of different other jobs attached to them, different other tasks attached to them, then we can begin to ask the question of what will be the job functions, the task functions, the task characteristics for each of those specified tasks, and then what will be the competencies required to achieve those tasks. I'll repeat this again. Before we come to analyzing tasks, first of all, we must go back to our organizational plan. So let's assume that we are let's say we're a training company. And by being a training company, we have an organizational plan. Inside the organizational plan, we have a marketing plan, we have a HR plan, we have our succession plan, we have a project plan, financial plan, and several other plans within. Operations plan, strategic plans. And then we now come down to finding out first. Of course, you agree with me that breaking down this organization to these different units, these different components, is in itself strategic HR. Okay, being able to break down an organization into different units on its own is strategic in nature. That's strategic HR is an application of strategic human resource management. Now we now come down and say, okay, for operations, please note, this organizational plan has organizational goals, right? Derived from the corporate vision, right? Now, by the time we say, okay, we have a unit called operations department, okay, and then we'll have staff inside this operations department, or we have different tasks inside this operations department. Remember, the goal of the operations department must work to achieve the general goal of the organization. Am I recording this? Don't tell me that I've not started recording. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Okay. So we'll get the full record on YouTube. YouTube is always there. Okay. So let me revisit what I'm saying. So I said, first of all, before we go to designing jobs, we must first of all analyze the jobs. And before we come about saying we have different units in the organization, that's the outcome of this analysis we're doing. Before we do that, we must go back to the organizational plan. The organizational plan was derived from the general corporate vision and mission, core values, strategies, and all of that, right? Now, by the organizational plan, each of the departments inside the organizational plan, all right, their assignment, their goals must be towards achieving the corporate goal. So what we've done by dividing this organization into different segments is that the corporate vision might be too big for just one unit, one department to achieve. So we've broken down this bogus vision into different elements of what we call goals. And then we now created departments, created units, created tasks, created roles, created jobs, that by doing those jobs, we achieve the corporate goal, not as independent, but interdependently. By interdependency, what do I mean? The operations department goals is being achieved, why the HR goals are being achieved, why the marketing goals are being achieved, why the product development goals are being achieved. All of these goals coming together will help in achieving the general corporate goals, right? Now, before we come out to saying these are the units and all of that, we need to sit down and then analyze the jobs that will have the most impact, the jobs that are the most required. Okay, you know, we have this thing we call key drivers, right? Key drivers. Even in job analysis, in coming up with jobs, we have specific jobs that drive the organization. All right, we have specific jobs that without them being operational within the organization, obviously nothing will happen. the organization is as good as just closed. Okay, let me ask from everyone here. In the current place you're working now, can you give us 3 different job roles and tell us out of the 3, which one is the major driver? Do you get my question? In the current place you're working, take an imaginary view of where you're working right now. Just pick 3 roles, 3 offices, 3 tasks, however your organization breaks theirs down. And then out of the 3, tell us which one is the key driving role or key driving task or the key driving job within the organization or within your organization. And can we go? If you give me a voice, I will seriously appreciate that. If you type in the chat room, I will read it out. Okay, can we do that very fast? Within your organization, just mention like 3. Don't give us all of it. Mention like 3, and then tell us which one do you think is the key driver? The one that without it, the organization possibly might close. Are we together? Can you still hear me? Please, if you can still hear me, type 1 in the chat room. Let me be sure we are all together. All right, so from excellence, he said they have programs officer, research officer, and finance officer. And the key driver role is the research. So Uso, can you tell us what your organization does? What does your organization do? Let's reason with you why the research is the most important role, the key driving role. Okay, from Debbie, she said they have HR, who have accounts, they have admin. She said, but the key driver is the HR. Why is the HR the key driver? What does the organization do? And why is the HR the key driver? Okay, so from USO, your organization is an NGO. So obviously research will be a very critical role, a very critical driver role. So thank you so much. From George Monday, he said, in my organization, exam session is the key role. Okay, so what does the organization do? From Emanuela just gave us 1. So can you tell us just 3 sections in your organization and tell us which one do you think is the key driver? Okay, so from, wow, finally, Engineer Lani, he came to class. Engineer Lani, you're welcome. So you have HR, you have technical, and you have relationship officer. And the key driver there is the technical. Okay. So do we have any other one? For the person that just wrote 1 operations, give us like 3 and then tell us which one is the key driver. Okay, from Christina, she has HR, network team, and sales. Okay, so which one is now the key driver? She says sales is the key driver. Okay, seeing more responses coming in. From Deborah again. Is it the same Deborah before or another Deborah? Deborah Ogunkeyede. This other Deborah is what? Deborah, you've given us, are you working in 2 organizations? You've given us the first one and you're bringing another one. Okay, so she said production, quality control, and logistics unit. The key driver is production. All right. From Sonia, she said admin, academic department, and HR, the key driver is academic. All right. From Deborah and Kechi, she said my organization is into biotech and the employment of scientific research officers. Right officers are the most important because they are the, so you're trying to say recruitment is the most important? Christina said, if there is no customer, there is no operation. All right. Okay, so I can see 2 Deborahs. I was thinking it's the same Deborah. All right, thank you so much. Now in your organization, if you look at, there are people that they are the ones generating the activities that others are doing. Okay, they are the ones generating the activities that others are doing. For instance, in IIPM, we have the operations department. Without the operations department, everybody in every other section would be like sleeping. The operations in IPM comprises of marketing, training, basically marketing and training. Okay, curriculum development. Okay, those are under operations. Now, without these three things, without operations, those in the exams and record, they will not have work to do. Those in admin, they will not have work to do, or those in HR, they will not have work to do. Those in membership department, they will not even have any work to do. In fact, their work, they have to wait till we complete our work before they do theirs. But irrespective of the fact that we have key drivers, does it mean that the other jobs are not relevant? Definitely not. They are all relevant. Okay, in fact, they are very relevant. For us to have created all of these different units, they are all relevant. Okay, they are very what? Very, very relevant. And they are all working interdependently to achieve the corporate goal, the overall corporate goal. All right, so now as we look through job analysis, there's going to be a whole lot of grammar there, but don't bother about the grammar. Now, by the end of the day, what we really want to achieve is coming up with a job description and coming up with a job specification. Those are the two things we want to come up with by the end of this section. Okay, we want to be able to develop job description and be able to develop job specification. We can only develop these two things if we have full understanding. Remember, we can only get understanding if we have enough data to analyze or to understand the different components of the job that we've broken down, or the different components of the organization we've broken down into jobs, right? So I'll repeat this again. By the end of this session, all we want to do is create job description and create job specification. So by the time we split ourselves into groups, some groups we develop, or each group will design jobs description and job specification for any job of their choice within any organization of their choice, whether it is tangible or intangible, whether it is present or abstract. So let's roll. If you are still with me, please kindly type 66 in the chat room. If you're still with me, kindly type 6 in the chat room. Okay, thank you. Excellent. Any other person with me? Are you with me? If you're with me, I am with you. So we move. All right. Now, in this outline, we want to cover the introduction to job analysis, methods of job analysis, stakeholders in job analysis, sources of data for job analysis, job descriptions, and job specifications. And for our group work, we'll be creating job descriptions and job specifications. That will be our expected result from this particular workshop this evening. So quickly, let's go. With all of the things we've done so far, the contributions and all of that, I will quickly have to run through this. Then just want to get to that place where we'll all sit down and do the main work. Now, job analysis, the systematic process of obtaining information about the skills, duties, and knowledge required for performing jobs in an organization. Systematic process of obtaining information about the skills, duties, and knowledge required for performing jobs in an organization. So by the time we say jobs within an organization, we've already established the impact of those jobs towards achieving the corporate goals, right? Now, HR managers use the information to develop job descriptions and job specifications. They are the basis for recruitment, training, employee performance, appraisals, and career development, among others. The ultimate purpose of job analysis is to improve organizational performance and productivity. Yeah. So everything we are doing in job analysis, like I said, is to make sure that we have people doing the described job that has been assigned to them. And by doing this, we're improving the general performance. First of all, we're improving the performance of that individual. And then we're improving the performance of that unit. And then we're improving the performance of that department, then to the organization. Okay, and then productivity generally. Okay. Now, what are the advantages of job analysis? The job analysis provides us with first-hand job-related information. So it tells us the title of the job, It tells us the demands of the job. It tells us the job roles, the job functions, the criteria, and all of that. It helps in creating right job employee fit. Now, by having good job analysis, especially by the specifications required, it will tell us who exactly do we need for this particular job. And then that makes recruitment easier. Okay, it makes recruitment easier. All right. It helps in establishing effective hiring strategies. I think I just said that. It guides through performance evaluation and appraisal process. Yes. By having job descriptions, we're already telling ourselves or telling the department that the established targets, they are all embedded in your job description. Okay, and why creating job description and job specification? If there are demands on the job, you let the person know. For instance, for most organizations, there are target driven. Every organization is performance driven, but some organizations are really, really target driven. You have monthly targets, you have weekly targets, monthly targets. Some have daily targets, you have weekly targets. So if there are demands on the job, on the specification, please let it be clearly stated demands. Maybe for a bank, you said attending to 100 customers in a day. Let the person know. Let the person know what he or she is coming to do. All right. And then if it is something that demands overtime, also let the person know to what extent of overtime. If it is something that involves traveling, involves many traveling, so much of traveling, you also let the person know. Okay, if traveling is going to be part of the measure of performance, also let the person know. Okay, that is very, very important. Okay, now it helps in analyzing training and development needs, obviously. For the fact that we design the jobs, the job descriptions, and we also have specification, employee fit requirements for the job, it helps us to know what kind of training we should be providing for people in those jobs. Okay, it helps us to know which kind of training to provide for. Now, it also helps in deciding compensation and benefits. Okay, and importantly, it helps in job evaluation. All right, it helps in job evaluation. Okay, very, very important. Among other things that job analysis helps us with is that it helps us in also meeting up with safety compliance requirements. Okay, it helps us with planning out safety and meeting up with the requirements. Occupational health and safety, very, very important. All right. Now, what's the process involved in job analysis? So the first thing is organizational analysis. Like I said earlier, we always have to return to the root, which is from the corporate vision, right? So being able to analyze the corporate vision, it will land us to developing corporate plans. And from corporate plans, it lands us to now developing jobs. Okay, so we have organizational analysis first that helps us with the corporate vision, analysis of the corporate vision, which further helps us in understanding or developing the plans. And then from the plans, we can now begin to break down the organization into selected departments or positions. So number two, we have the select representative positions or the roles that we want to establish. And then from there, you now begin to collect data. What data are you collecting? From the job description perspective, you're collecting data that will have direct correlation to impacting on the general organizational vision or general organizational goal. So that will decide the kind of tasks you will establish under the represented positions you've taken. Then under the job specification, you'll be collecting information as regards to the educational background, the qualifications, oral qualification, the competency mapping, and all of that. You begin to collect the skills requirement, attitude requirement, personal trait requirement, and every other thing that has to do with behavioral based, okay, and competency based. All right. Then from the data collected, you review the data. For most organizations, they might end up segmenting the data or segregating the data. Okay. So you could segregate the data into based on what you want, maybe top level, middle level, and low level. Where the top level or highest priority, medium priority, and low priority. While the highest priority will be the people that have the highest category or have the nearest requirements for this job, following by the middle, the people that have averagely, and then low, people that have little or nothing. Okay. And remember, this also can help us reviewing and segregating this data can also help us in talent management. Pastor Ifeoma said something yesterday. They said during recruitment, you collect a whole lot of CVs. You don't just throw away the CVs. You stack some of these CVs, or you stack the CVs. Those CVs will become source of information with time as to when you want to create new jobs or hire for new entries. Those places, those data banks where those CVs are will become places you can easily go and check for some of the information you need. Okay. And then from reviewing the data and segregating the data, you then come to developing the job description and then developing the job specification. All right. I trust this is easy to comprehend. Do I have any question here? I think this is the first thing I'm going to be dealing with that I will really need to know if you understood this. Okay, under the process of job analysis, please, is there anything that you don't understand? I will answer you right now. Is there anything that you would like to ask question on? Please feel free to raise your hand, I will answer you. Okay, if we should continue with the class, please kindly type 1 in the chat room. If you understood it and you think we should continue. Okay, someone said the data part, sir. Okay. Now, before I talk about the data part, let me start from the beginning of beginning. Before we start analyzing jobs, we go back to where we started from, which is a corporate vision. Everything about the organization starts with the corporate vision, the company vision, which we end up breaking down into goals and objectives, right? That corporate vision is what we will analyze to give us an organization plan, an organizational plan, all right? The analysis of this organizational plan will give us the different departments where we'll now talk about selecting representative positions. Now, by the positions, this position is what is actually very important to us. But before we'll be able to establish this position, we need to collect enough data to justify. Data simply means raw information, right? Unprocessed information, right? Okay, so from the, let's take, for instance, we want to create the position of marketing manager, all right? We need to collect data to tell us first, how do we create a relationship or how do we create a marketing goal that will have direct relationship to the general corporate objective. Now, by collecting the data on the job description side, we must have stated all that the marketing manager will do in order to achieve the marketing goals that at the end of the day will deliver to the market, the general corporate objectives. But for the tasks that have been identified, for the duties, for the responsibilities that have been identified for this representative role of marketing manager, we then need to find out, first of all, what kind of knowledge, skills, and abilities do we need for this particular role? To what degree do we need the knowledge, skills, and abilities? Are there special competencies we need in these skills, in this particular role? Is there a certain level of experience we need? If we need certain level of experience, are there specific areas we need this information? Now, by the time we begin to collect this kind of information, then we can now set up the kind of job specification you want. If you throw out this advert there, or you ask questions maybe from the staff or existing staff if the company is already existing, or you ask questions from subject matter expert or consultant, they will give you information on this degree of competency you need should be this. If you use a questionnaire, some will say, okay, go for HND, some will say go for BSc, some will go for OND, some will say go for SSCE. Now, all of these are data. But by the time you collect all of these data, what kind of behavior you need, some will tell you go for someone who is social, someone who is an extrovert, someone who has the boldness and confidence, maybe someone who has a marketing certificate, and all of that. People will give you different options, different information. It is now left for you to now sit down and review this information, review this data. And then out of the data, you could now create comparison. You could use what the industry trend is saying. You could use what the industry trend is saying regarding to the information you have. And then with that, you can then begin to say, okay, based on industry trend and the data I have on ground, I think this is what I need. You could decide also to segregate the data. For the ones that are HND, you put them all aside. For the ones SSC, you put them all different aside. And then begin to put the different is associated with any of these levels. And then at the end of the day, you say, okay, what is the industry saying about this particular job I want to create? And then with that, you can select which of them is the best one. All right. And then with that, you can then create your job description and then create your job specification. I would like to buttress on this point. On the first day of this course, we spoke about HR operations. We spoke about background checks, spoke about appointment letters, offer letters, contractual agreements, exit interviews, leave management, and all of that. So many of those things. You know, so many organizations do not give offer letters, neither do they give appointment letters. Neither did they have any form of contractual agreement with their staff. You know why that is so? Because those jobs were not really designed. They were not really analyzed. Perhaps when they were starting the organization, they said, okay, based on what we want to do now, I think we need operations manager, we need HR, and we need marketing manager. If you now begin to ask them, what will the operations manager do? Yeah, this operations manager will do what every other operations manager do now. But from the company perspective, there was no really intensive analysis towards those jobs before they were created. So that on its own creates conflict when you're recruiting people. And that's why you have organization, you are recruited as an operations manager. By the time you know it, you become a marketing manager. By the time you know it, you become HR manager. By the time you know it, you become business developer. Why? Because the job was not distinctively described as to what job functions would be expected. And this, in most cases, lead to clash within the organization. And the staff will tell you, please, this is not really what you employed me for. In our engagement, you said, I am doing this. And then some of us try to lord it over. I am the one who employed you. I tell you what to do. Okay, all right. So it's not supposed to be so. So every one of us here, when we go back to, when we resume work, maybe tomorrow, if you're not in Nigeria, and if you're in Nigeria, resuming work is on Wednesday. By the time you resume work on Wednesday, look at the different jobs on your table and ask yourself, what is the relationship? What is the job role? What's the job goal? What's the relationship between the role and goals to the general corporate objective? Okay, why did we really create this job? And then, do this person have an appointment letter or contract letter or offer letter? If there are people within your organization that do not have offer letter, it's important you go and review it. Okay, and before you give them offer letter, please analyze the job completely so that you know what to put in their offer letter, because their offer letter will have to contain both the job description and in most cases the job specification, but more importantly, the job description, because the job description will tell you the title of the job, the general background of the job, who you're reporting to. If anybody's reporting to you, it will also tell you, it will tell you the category at which you are employed. Okay, it will tell you all your job functions, your expected targets. In some cases, it will tell you the salary range expected of you. Okay, it may also go as far as telling you your performance appraisal system in all of that. So except you do your job analysis in total, you won't be able to come up with a good offer letter, a good appointment letter, or a good contractual agreement with anyone called staff, partner, colleague, or what have you. All right? Do you understand that? Let me go to the chat room and see if I have some questions there. From Debbie, she said, please, what are entailed in data collection? Let's go get there. We'll get there. And then I have another question from Debbie Ogunkeyede. He said, must the job description come first before the, of course, the job description must come first before the specification, because the specification is only talking about the requirement needed to do the job description. So the job description comes first. The job description comes first because it is focusing on the general corporate goals. Okay, then the job specification is simply telling us the characteristics of the person that will be doing this job. The job description is telling us the activities that will be done to achieve the goals. The job specification is telling us the characteristics of the person that will be doing the tasks set to achieve the goals. So the job design or the job description will always come first before job specification. Do I have any other question? The question on what are entailed in the data collection, I will definitely talk about that. There is a section on it on the slide. Any other question? If there is any question, please feel free to ask. I will definitely answer you. We've done 45 plus minutes. Okay, so if there is no question, then let's proceed. Now, common methods of job analysis. These are just the common methods. This does not mean that these are the only methods. In fact, as it were, we have more than 15 different methods of job analysis. In level 2, we still talk about most of them. In level 3, we still talk about most of them. But for this particular level, we just look at 3. The first one is observation. The second one is interview. And the third one is questioning. And just as they sound, or just as they are, that's just what they mean. By observation method, we could do job analysis by observing the jobs, related events, related situation to the job we want to create. And then we can then draw extrapolation from the people who are doing the related works, or we'll draw extrapolation from the roles related to those organizations. We can actually look at current work going on in organizations and then begin to identify the gaps. Okay. Some of us, not every organization has learning and development or training department. Not every organization has research and development. But with time, as your organization grows, you now find out there is need for us now to have learning and development. That gap must be observed over time. Maybe by the time you observe how frequent you now bring in consultant to train your staff, or you send your staff for training, how by the frequency of the training, and then by the impact of the training, the relevance of the training, by the return on investment of the training, you can ask, okay, well, I think it's better to have a department for this. And then you now begin to describe what that department will do, or what that unit will do, or what the office will do. And then you now talk about the specification, the requirement for the person who is going to man this unit, or the people that will man that department. Then the next one is interview. Someone asked in the data collection process, how do we go about it? You can actually collect data by observation, right? You collect data by observation, observing the current job situations, observing the trends, and then taking records. If you have your checklist, some have what we call diary. So you could have your diary and be recording all your observations. That is part of data collection. You could have your checklist for interviews. Okay, you have your checklist for interviews. You could interview your current employees. You could interview subject matter experts. You could interview other people that are not your employees, but they are doing that job. You can interview them to come up with the required data that you need to make your decision. And then the other one is questionnaire. Why interview is more of face-to-face or question and answer session, which could be face-to-face, over the phone, and several others. Questionnaire is a structured way of getting data. As you draft questions, you draft relationships to the questions, you draft ratings to the questions, and then you give it to people to give you responses. Okay, with any of these three, or a combination of these, you'll be able to come up with data that can help you in deciding on whether to create the job or not. It will help you in the kind of compensation you want to give to the job or not, the kind of safety consideration you will give to the job or not. All right, very, very important. All right, like I earlier said, direct observation is a method of job analysis to observe and record behavior, events, activities, tasks, duties, when the worker or group engage in doing the job. Observation method can be effective only when the job analyst is skilled enough to know what is to be observed, how to analyze, and what is being observed. These are key. The interview method is used, or is a useful tool of job analysis to ask questions to both incumbents and supervisors in either an individual, a group of setting. The whole objective is to get responses from them. Interview includes structured interviews, unstructured interview, and open-ended questions. You have the questionnaire method. This involves using structured questionnaires to collect information about the job. Job incumbents and or managers fill out questionnaires about the case necessary for them. While the interview is more of I ask you, answer me, the questionnaire is you have a document that contains the information or contains the question you want to ask, and the person gives you responses. So the questionnaire reduces, to a great extent, reduces bias in the information given. Okay, HR complies or perhaps compiles the answers and publishes a composite statement of job requirement. This method produces reasonable job requirement with input from employees and managers and help analyze many jobs with limited resources. Now, who are the stakeholders? Who and who should be involved in job analysis? We have the company management, we have the top performers who have a good understanding of the position and who know how to do the job effectively, what tasks need to be completed and at what frequency, and what is critical to perform the job successfully. Now, this top performer might be within or without the organization. Okay, then you have the supervisor to whom the employee will report to. You have the HR manager, the HR business partner, the HR advisor, or the HR consultant can help you. This person can be within the organization or without the organization also. You have the current employees who will be affected by hiring the new employee or by creating the new office. So all of the tasks that will be, all the people involved in tasks that will be affected by the new tasks that will be created, they can also join in job analysis. They have a recorder or facilitator who is unbiased and has no current or past connection to the job position. So someone, so a HR business partner, advisor, or consultant can do that. All right. Now, sources of data for job analysis. Where do we get data for job analysis? We have data from organizational charts. We have data from job announcements, like the one we see on newspapers, magazines, and all of that. You see both the job job description and the job specification. Then you have the job descriptions, the direct or indirect observation, input from management, employees and or irrelevant subject matter expert, obtained through interviews or via questionnaires. Now, an additional option for collecting data is the diary method. That's the one I said earlier. By observation, you could be having a log of what is happening, the events, the skills, the behaviors, and all of that. But remember that before you start having a diary, you must be definite of what you want to observe. You must be definite on the kind of skill. You must be definite on the kind of behavior. You must be definite on the kind of competency. You must be definite on the kind of attitude that you want to observe. All right, very, very important. Okay, so Landon is saying he's finding it difficult to hear me. Please, once again, I would like to confirm. If you can hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 11. If you can hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 11. Okay, now someone, please help me reach out to Landon Camara. If it is possible, he can log out and then log in back, or he could use the YouTube link. If he can't hear me from this particular platform, maybe he could hear me from the YouTube platform. Or can someone help me reach out to him in a private chat? He can either log out and come back. Let's find out what the challenge is. Now, Debbie said she doesn't understand the aspect of the recorder. Now, the recorder or the facilitator, the essence of that person is just to document. So whether you call him a recorder, a facilitator, a secretary, whatever, there is a role that requires documenting in job analysis. So that person recording is a recorder. If it is only one person doing all of this, he is also a recorder. But it's not possible to have only one person to do job analysis. There must be other people involved, all right? So the recorder there, or the facilitator, is the person documenting all of the activities being done, all of the data being collected. He or she is documenting all of it for the purpose of analyzing and then using them for decision making. Please, that particular Debbie that asked this question, do you understand now? Okay, understood. So we have 2 Debbie in my class. Now, what kind of information do we collect under job analysis? What kind of information do we collect? We collect information on the nature of jobs required in a consign or nature of jobs required in the organization. Now, the nature and size of the organizational structure, we also need information about that. So we have to go back to the HR plan and then carve out the organization or bring out the organizational structure. And then we need to also have information on the type of people required to fit that structure. That's the job specification, right? Then we'll have the relationship of the job with the other jobs in the consign or in the organization. Kind of qualifications and academic background required for the jobs. Provision of physical condition to support the jobs of the consign. Now, if there are other things like experiences required, you also can get them. If there are other things like background information required, you also get them. All right. Now, in sum total, in summary, the output of job analysis are job description and job specification. Now, let's round it up. Job description is an organized factual statement of job content in the form of duties and responsibilities of a specific job. So when we say job description, we're talking about duties and responsibilities. So before you give anyone any form of contractual agreement letter, offer letter, appointment letter, you must have a good understanding of what duties and responsibilities that particular job will do. And that is one of the primary deciding factors of whether the person will accept the offer or not. The preparation of job description is very important before a vacancy is advertised. It tells in brief the nature and type of job. This type of document is descriptive in nature, and it constitutes all those facts which are related to a job. Now, what are the advantages of job description? It helps the supervisor in assigning work to the subordinates so that he can guide and monitor their performances. Obviously, with the jobs described in the job description sheet, it is easy for the supervisor to know who is doing what. It also helps in recruitment and selection procedures. It assists in manpower planning. So with the job description, we'll know if there are vacancies, gaps that still exist within the manpower plan. It also helps in performance appraisals. It is helpful in job evaluation in order to decide about the rate of remuneration for a specific job. It also helps in chalking out training and development programs. This is for job description. Now, what are the components or the elements of a job description? When you have a job description, these are the major things you find there. You have the title or the designation of the job and the location in concern. Very, very important. The nature of duties and operations to be performed in that job, the nature of authority and responsibility relationship. If it is a role that you have to report to someone and someone is reporting to you, let it be specified. If it's a role that you only have to report to someone, let it also be specified. Necessary qualifications that are required for the job, relationships of that job with other jobs in the concern, the provision of physical and working condition or the work environment required in performance of that job. All of these things should be itemized in the job description. Now, on the screen is a template of what job description is all about. So first you have your title, and then you have reports to, then you have the job overview, and then you have the responsibilities and duties, and then you have the qualifications. This is a standard template of what your job description should look like. And like I said, this is a deciding factor of whether the appointment or the agreement between you and the staff will hold. Whenever a staff signs an appointment letter, what he's actually signing up for is that he agrees to the terms and conditions, or he agrees to the roles and responsibilities, okay, identified in the job description, okay. Then the next thing we look at there is the job specification, which is a statement which tells us minimum acceptable human qualities which helps to perform a job. Job specifications translate job description into human qualifications so that a job can be performed in a better manner. Job specifications helps in hiring an appropriate person for an appropriate position. So while job description is essentially focusing on duties and responsibilities, job specification is focusing on the kind of person that should be employed. The person, does he have the right qualifications? Does he have the right attitude? Does he have the right skills? Does he have the right personality traits? Does he have the right background that we need and all of that? That's what the job specification is trying to tell us. Okay, now elements of job specification, you have the job title and the job design. You have the educational qualifications for that title. Now, physical and other related attributes, let it be discussed. If the job involves physical identities, physical characteristics, for instance, if you want to go into Army or Navy or Air Force in Nigeria, even police and most of these paramilitary or defense agencies, they have bias towards height. They have bias towards gender, not gender, what they call it. They have bias towards genotype, your blood genotype, okay? So these are physical and other related attributes that you need to spell out. Then also physical and mental health, okay? You also need to spell them out. Okay, so someone is saying that he can't see my screen. So please, I would like everyone to confirm if you can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, kindly type 11. If you can't, type 00. All right, so please, Dr. Alice, kindly log out and log in back if that will solve the problem. All right. Okay, so check for physical attributes and abilities also, maturity and dependability, and relationship of that job with other jobs in a consign. Now, this is a typical template of what a job specification is all about. You have the job title, reporting to, job overview. Then you have required experience. Required education, required certifications or credentials, required skills, personality traits, demands on the job. These are some of the things you capture in the job specification. Okay. Also, he said it looks like you don't see my question. Please, if you ask me a question that does not really bother around here, any question on materials and all of that, it will not catch my attention because obviously you know you will get the materials. If you ask me a question on materials when I'm teaching, I will not answer you. So maybe I should also state that as part of my job description, that if you ask me a question relating to materials and all of that, we've already answered all of that in the beginning of the class when we are dealing with the induction section. So if you ask me a question on how will you get material and all of that, I will not answer you. Okay. Thank you for being understandable. All right. Now that's it on what we have done. So we have clearly gone through everything that we have in our outline. We've dealt with the introduction, methods, stakeholders involved, sources of data, job description, and specification. Now our assignment is to create job description and job specification, and this is where the intent is. Now before we proceed, once again, can someone help us define what job analysis is? What is job analysis? What is job analysis? While someone is answering what is job analysis, another one could answer the method for job analysis, another one could answer the stakeholders involved in job analysis, and another one could answer what are the sources of that. Anyone you choose, please feel free. If your hand is up, I will definitely unmute you. So what is job analysis? Choose your own answer from the board. Choose any one of the series and tell us what is job analysis, what are the methods for job analysis, who are the stakeholders involved in job analysis, what are the sources of data for analyzing jobs, what is job description and job specification. Are we good to go? Are we good to go? Okay, Emanuela, please go ahead. I'll mute and go ahead.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear the chair.
Okay.
Yeah, you're dragging. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so job analysis is basically the breaking down of how do I put it? Okay, is the process of getting information about the duties, the knowledge that is needed to carry out jobs in an organization.
Okay.
The skills, the duties, the knowledge, basically, yes.
Okay. So the process of collecting information on the skills, knowledge, and abilities required to perform different duties.
I'm breaking them down. Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much, Emanuela. So Emanuela has answered the first question. Second question, methods of job analysis. Methods of job analysis. Can we have that? And please, if you answer, don't raise your hand again. If you answer any question, don't raise your hand again so that it can go around. Methods of job analysis. You can give us one, another person will give us one. We mentioned 3 in this class. So we need 3 people to give us 3. Methods of job analysis. Good. Wow. Wow. Okay, Omolara, please kindly unmute and go ahead.
Good evening, all.
Good evening, Omolara.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. We have 3 methods that we have, even though there are more than 15, but we itemized 3 in the course of the class. One is observation method, interview method, and questionnaire method.
All right, thank you so much, Omolara, for belling the cat out of the bag. All right, so we have, is this a name? Hadijatu Gassama. All right, so Hadijatu Gassama. If you can hear me, kindly unmute and let's hear from you. If it's possible, you can help us pronounce the name so that we don't murder the name the next time. Gassama, can you hear me? All right, so Gassama seems not to be hearing me, so I have to bring that hand down. So stakeholders in job analysis, who will help us? At least if you're not raising your hand now, type your answer in the chat room so that we can be fast about this. Just choose anyone and type your answer or raise your hand and tell me the answer so that we can proceed. Stakeholders in job analysis, who and who are involved in job analysis? At least mention one person or one stakeholder. Okay, so we have management team, current employees, recorder, facilitators. Okay. Sources of data for job analysis. Sources of data for job analysis. Okay, we are done with this one. Sources of data for job analysis. Where do we get data that we use for job analysis? Okay, someone said it looks like we are losing connection with international colleagues. Okay. Okay. We need to review that. Sources of data we have from the chat room, position description, organization chart, job announcement, input from management, employees too. Okay, thank you. The next one is, what is job description? And to another, what is job specification? What is job description? Okay, so Gassama said he was hearing me, but we were not hearing him, and that could be network. Sincere apologies, Gassama. Maybe you could try again and see if you'll be able to make a voice. Okay, from Edgar, she said, job descriptions are duties and responsibilities, full stop. If you want to add anything, you're on your own. Okay, so what is job specification? Job specification. Okay, from Deborah Ogunkeyede, he said, Job design, or perhaps job description is job content in form of duties and responsibilities. All right, thank you. Now we need job specification. I saw Simon's hand up like a referee. I saw his hand like a referee. Okay. So Honorable Simon, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I've been away for a while. Sorry.
You're
Job specification. I had to drop my hand when the other person was talking. Job specification is actually a statement that tells us about the minimal requirements of the human specification needed for the job, basically. The specification is talking about the minimum requirement of the person needed to do the job. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Please, these keywords are very, very important. The statement of the minimum requirement. Minimum requirement. Minimum requirement. Okay, very, very important. Now, before I allow us to go to our different groups and okay, so from OB, I have some information in the chat room. Okay, from Engineer Olani, he said characteristic of the person, qualification, okay, etc. From Sikira, characteristics of the employee that will be doing the roles. From Emanuela, the job specification tells us the kind of person we need for the job described. From OB, qualities of the employee to implement a job description. All right. From Gasama, the process of collecting the information required for the job. I think he's trying to answer on job analysis. Omolara, job specification are the education, experience, responsibilities, training, personal and emotional characteristics. Okay, thank you. Do I have any questions so far? Because in the next few minutes, I'll be allowing us to do our group activity. Now, the group activity, we're going to break you into different groups. So as soon as we create the groups, you will see an invitation to join your own group. So when you see the invitation, kindly accept and join your group. Okay. And please, when you get there, don't keep quiet. Ask questions, how you're going to do your assignment. So each group, what you're going to do is design a job description and job specification for any job of your choice. Just pick any job of your choice and design a job description for that and job specification for that. Please don't go designing organogram. Don't go writing corporate vision and organizational plan. No, just go straight. Assuming that all those things have been established. Is it ceteris paribus? Yes, ceteris paribus. Assuming all things being equal. Okay. Although my mentor said ceteris is no longer paribus. So let's assume ceteris is still paribus. The vision has been established, organizational plan has been established. Now we want to create job design and specification for this job. Okay, that's all I want. So you have 20 minutes. No, 20 minutes is too much. Okay, let's give 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes to do that. And then you come back. One person from your group will now tell us what you people have done. So if you want to write this down, please feel free to write it down now. The elements involved, your job title, reporting to job overview, responsibilities and duties, and then education. That's for job qualifications. And then you have your job specification. Please, if you're writing this down, type 1 in the chat room. If you're not writing it down, let me go to job specification. If you're writing it down for your group, or perhaps you could just screenshot it. You could just screenshot it. Okay. Is it because I talked of group work? Some people are dropping. They don't want to be part of the group work. 4 people have left the class because I mentioned group work. Okay. Please kindly screenshot it. And then the job specification, These are the things we are also expecting. So since you just have one sheet, you're doing both, you don't need to write job title, job reporting to, and job overview again, having done it in your JD. So all you need to do is just continue from required experience, required education, required certification or credentials, if any, required skills, required personality traits, and then demands on the job. Okay. Okay, so I will go back to job. Okay, I will leave this for 1 minute, believing that you could have screenshot it or written it down. These are the elements, the things we see in a default job specification. Okay, I will leave it for 1 minute, expecting that we would have written it down. Screenshot. After that, I will go back to the template of job description. Okay. Okay, so back to job description. So these are the elements in job description. So write it down. Now, do I have any question before we break down into groups? We only have 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes, we'll be back. Remember, group participation is part of the criteria for certification. So. Okay, do I have any question before we go into groups? Do I have any question before we go into groups? Okay, now, even if you're the only person in your group, please endeavor to do the assignment. Even if you're the only person in your group talking, please endeavor to do the assignment. But we encourage everyone to be in a group and do the assignment. All right. Okay, so we are breaking the group right now. So we are creating 5 groups. We are creating 5 groups, please. Anyone you find yourself is automatically going to be assigned. So, and as soon as you enter your group, please start your discussions. So I have group 1, Deborah Nkechi, Deborah Ogunkeide, George Monday, Isaac Olusins, Edigan. Group 2, we have Doyin Adegbesote, Excellence Uso, Hadi, Jatu Gasama, Ifi Sonia, Longi, Obi Bertrand, Roland Dankwa. We have group 3, Ave Mas, Christina Okinla, Dr. Alice, Eze Sinachi, Joseph Anaba, and Sekira Abdusalam. Room 4, or group 4, we have Benedicta Etuoku, Emanuela Uvomaye, Kate Smith, Omalara Olomoda, Philip Sise, Taiwo, Professor Taiwo Adenigan. Then we have group 5, Chinyeriwu, Favor Okono, Ndolo Njideka, Ogun Makiwa, Peter Ewa Rawon, and Simon Salifu. So the group is opening now. So kindly join your group accordingly. We have created the groups. Please kindly accept. On your screen, you will see join. not join, please click on join and join your group. So I have only 20 minutes for that, for this work. This is 5:40. That means by 6 o'clock we'll be back. 6 o'clock Nigerian time. Please, if you are still in the general classroom, kindly join your group. Chinyeriwu, Christina, Okela, Deborah, Ogunkeide, Dr. Alice, Emanuela. Please join your group. Everyone join your group and make sure you're participating there. Please, if you're still in this general group, we are currently on break. We are currently on breakout session. So kindly find your group and join your group. All right. Thank you. Please, if you were in a group, before the network threw you out, kindly identify with 1 and tell us your group. If you were not in any group, please type 00. If you were in a group before network threw out, please type the name of the, type the number of the room, whether 1, 2, 3, or 5. If you don't have any group at all, type 00 so that we know what to do. Please, Mr. George, you will see an information that comes up for you to join your group. So maybe you mistakenly did not join or canceled it. So what we'll do is that we'll send you the invitation. So kindly join your group. Okay, so Monday, you're seeing the invitation. Kindly accept and join your group. If Sonia, we send you to group. Which group did we send you to? If Sonia, we send you to group 1, but you're yet to accept the invitation. So we'll move you to group 2. So if Sonia, kindly accept your group. Please, Mr. Monday, what challenge are you having? I've sent you the request severally, but you're not accepting. What's the challenge? Please feel free to unmute and let me hear what the challenge is. I've sent you requests severally, but you're not accepting any. Feel free to unmute, let me hear what the challenge is. Please, if you are still in the general room, you may have to be patient till they are done with the workshop, then we can all come back. We are returning in the next 7 minutes, or perhaps next 5 minutes rather. All right, for those of us in the general room, if it's so near Kate Smith, please, you have to bear for the next 3 minutes before every other person will join us. Thank you. All right, so we are restarting the class in the next 1 minute. We are rejoining the class in the next 1 minute. Everyone is coming back. So for all of those people that traveled far and wide, you're welcome back. I trust you can still hear me. In the next 45 seconds, 30 seconds, 29 seconds, 28 seconds, we will be all back. 20 seconds remaining. 15 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Some people are still glued to their group. All right. So everyone is expected to be back in a second, in a jiffy. So let's have everyone coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back. All right. Is there anyone that is missing? I think everybody should be back by now. Okay, so in group 1, we have Anderica Ayaksin, Deborah Nkechi Ikewanade, Deborah Ogunkeyede, rather, George Monday, Isaac Olusins, and Omo, in fact, Edigan. In room 2, we have myself, supervising the group. Then we have Doni, we have Gasama, we have Obi, we have Roland. In group 3, we have Avimas, Christiana, Dr. Alice, Joseph. Naba. Group 4, we have Benedicta, Emanuela, Omolora, Philippi, Sikira, Taiwo. Group 5, we have Favor, Ndolo, Olani, Peter, and Simon. Okay, so can we have group 1 to do their presentation? Group 1, are you ready? Please, group 1, if you're ready, type 1 in the chat room. Group 1, if you're ready, type 1 in the chat room, and the person that is going to present, kindly unmute or kindly raise your hand so that we'll unmute you. Group 1, if you're ready, type 1 in the chat room. Please note that we are not coming back to have a representation. So in case you're not able to present within the time allotted to you, then we will allow you to do the presentation maybe to people at home. All right, group 2, are you ready? If you're ready, type 2. All right, so group 1, you're ready. So who is presenting? The person should just lift his or her hand up so that we can unmute you. Who is presenting for group 1? Omolara. Omolara, if you're the one presenting, please kindly lift your hand so that we unmute you. We don't want to enforce it on you. So if you are the one presenting, in fact, we are going to make the mic available to everyone. So the mic is open to everyone. If you're the one presenting, kindly unmute and go ahead. Group 1, you have 5 seconds to decide.
I thought I was in group 4, sir.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, hello, good evening. Who is presenting?
I just want to speak on behalf of group 1.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, in group 1, talking about the job description, we talked about, we decided on a job title of a marketing manager in a company, a product-based company actually, and the marketing manager is reporting directly to the CEO or the executive director of the company, and the job overview of the marketing manager entails analyzing the products, the different products that are produced by the company, and making sure that these products get to the specified areas that the consumers are. And of course, the product meets the consumer satisfaction in each of these areas. That is a kind of job overview. And I think it has a linkage with the responsibilities and duties of the marketing manager. Marketing manager could, some of the essential duties, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yes, some of the essential duties that are required to carry out delivery services, making sure that the company's products are delivered on time, work on the batches, work with the production manager to make sure there are no lapses in production to meet with the consumers' requirements. And also get feedbacks from consumers concerning the products, maybe their quality, taste, and satisfaction, so that I can report back to the company if there's a need to have something to be done with the product, maybe addition or whatever. The marketing manager can report to the CEO concerning the grievances or challenges that the product, the consumers are actually facing. I think talking about the qualification, should be a master's degree holder in marketing. I must have at least 5 years experience in a notable firm or company, and should be someone that is a go-getter, someone that is able to have a specific whatever he wants to realize or achieve, even before going out there to meet the consumers. For example, a marketing manager might say, okay, we have competitors in this company. We are going to get 5% of the market share, and I'm going to work towards it. It should be a go-getter. It should be somebody that will be able to talk and convince consumers about his or her product, and able to lift the company through that. And should be somebody that is fiscally able, because the marketing manager, one way or the other, goes around, trying to supervise and see what it entails in the market out there. Then fiscal attributes, just like I discussed. I think that is all for the job description. Then talking about, I think the specification as well. I think I've touched part of the specification, like we're talking about the statement which tells us minimum acceptable human quality. Like I said, the person should be a master's degree holder with maybe 5 years experience in marketing, and maybe, of course, belong to some marketing bodies.
Okay, thank you so much, Debbie.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you 1 minute. Now, in 1 minute, start afresh in 1 minute. Your time starts now.
Okay. In our group one, we talked about, we chose the marketing manager as the personality we're going to talk about. So the job title is that of the marketing manager, and he reports to the CEO or the executive, and his job overview is to make sure this to the consumer at the right time and at the right place, and also that it satisfies the needs of the consumer. And responsibilities and duties also is to make sure that every other department works in line with specification from the marketing department to achieve the direct or the exact product that are needed out there. Like the marketing manager has a relationship with the production manager, and of course with other departments, because the life of a product, of a company, lies in the product. And if the products are not sold, the company isn't existing. It's a product-based company, so what they are out there to achieve is to sell their products and make their money, and also achieve their overall goal. So in doing this, the marketing manager makes sure that the products that are being sold meet the specifications of the consumer's demand. That's just the general duty and responsibility. And also, if there's a need for advertisement, it can be related to the executive director, the management of the company. If there's a need for their products to reach other parts of the of the specified segment, they can
Right, you
relate
have
it
10
with the
seconds.
CEO. Okay. Then talking about the job specification, the minimum requirement to perform the job is a master's degree holder with maybe 5 years experience and also belong to some marketing bodies.
All right, thank you so
Then the
much. Thank you so much for that. Group 1, thank you so much. Please, can we give resounding boza to Group 1? If you have your digital hand, please give Group 1 boza for the work they've done. Give them boza, boza, boza. They have tried. Okay. Now, please, simply what we want is you tell us the job title, who the person is reporting to, and give us the overview. Please, when it comes to responsibilities, you itemize it. 1, this, 2, that, 3. Please don't come summarizing responsibilities and duties, okay, like Group 1 did. Don't give us general duties and summary of general duties. Itemize it. All right, and then the qualifications, which in this case becomes the job specification. Education level, you state it. Experience, number of years, and in what areas you state. Specific skills, if any, you state. Personal characteristics or personality traits, you state. Certifications, licenses, and if any, please state. All right, Group 2, if you're ready, please type 22 in the chat room. Group 2, if you are ready, type 222 in the chat room. Group 2, you have 5 seconds to decide if you're ready or not, and your time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so have Group 2. All right, so whoever is presenting for Group 2, please, can you unmute and let's have you. You have 5 seconds to unmute. 1. Okay. Doyin, are you presenting for Group 2?
Hello?
Yes, please, are you presenting for Group 2?
Yes, I will.
All right, please go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
The position the position we are presenting for is that of a talent assessment team lead, a talent assessment officer. Are you with me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, sir. Reporting to the head HR, the work type. Okay. So the job overview. Our organization is a training and manpower development, a key player in the training and manpower development field. And we are looking and as we are trying to expand, the position, we need someone to fill that position. So the responsibilities and duties, providing advice to the line managers on hiring, needs for hiring and the hiring process, to build relationship with the managers to understand the needs and the need for new positions as they come up, to conduct behavioral interviews, HR interviews for the positions, to develop sourcing and assessment methods to ensure that they get the best, to attract talent, and so on and so forth. We need a degree in psychology, sociology, or behavioral sciences. They should have talent, attraction, and selection skills. Must be a leader, a thought, someone who is able to think and on his feet. Must be someone is a team player, strong written and verbal skills.
10 seconds more.
Yes, and he must have experience of handling, of using hiring tools like LinkedIn, and some other tools like that to be able to attract talent. I think I will stop from there, sir. That's where the time permitted us.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Doyi, for that wonderful section. Okay, please, can we give group 2 a wonderful boza for the work well done? Can we give them boza? Let's give them resounding boza in the chat room. Okay, well, Engineer Lani, I hear you. Okay, so let me quickly comment on group 1 and group 2. Group 1 said something. The job role they are working on is on marketing manager. And this marketing manager is to report to the MD. Now, automatically, what this is telling us that if a manager can report directly to the MD, this is a small organization, right? It's not a big organization. And then he said part of the duties is that this marketing manager is to ensure that other managers comply with product development standards so as to meet up with market needs. What this simply means is that we are giving the job of, we are putting the job of compliance in the hands of the marketing manager, which is supposed to be on the side of the production manager or operations manager. And for marketing manager to report directly to the MD, I think there is a very big challenge with that. The marketing manager should, some point or to some extent, report to someone that reports to the MD. Because if the marketing manager is reporting to the MD, what is simply given to the MD is not a processed information. Okay, the marketing manager does not really have all the capacity to give top-level information. Okay, so I think the marketing manager should either report to the HR or report to the company secretary or report to the admin, who will in turn get real process the information generated and then submit it to the MD. If the marketing manager is submitting to the MD, that means both of them will end up getting confused. They will have a whole lot of confusion running. Okay, so let's understand that. And maybe this could be a challenge from the organogram, right? So when we get to job design, maybe we'll see how to deal with organogram so that these issues do not arise. Then group 2 said talent acquisition team lead. And one of the responsibilities, I did not pick all, but I picked one. He said one of the responsibilities is that this person should advise line managers. If he is talent acquisition team lead, his advice should go to HR and should go to management, not to line managers. He should rather collaborate with line managers to get the necessary job analysis data that he can use to advise the HR department and the management. So in this case, the team lead role is not to advise line managers because it is not the responsibility of line managers to recruit. They can be part of the recruitment process if called, but they are not the one to decide on recruitment. Okay, so we also look at that very well. When we have job descriptions that become divergent, it will create chaos. It will create confusion in the workplace. Okay, so we need to be mindful of that. Group 3, if you're already type 3 in the chat room. Group 3, if you're already type 3 in the chat room. So you have 5 seconds to decide. 1, okay. So whoever is presenting, please can you unmute and let's hear from you. You have 2 minutes for your presentation.
Yeah, good day, everyone.
Good day, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, I'm presenting for group 3. So we decided on job title HR, a human resource recruitment assistant. So the human resource recruitment assistant will be reporting to the HR manager, the senior HR manager. So his job will be to for job postings and recruitment process. So under the responsibilities and duties of this HR recruitment assistant, we have source for suitable candidates for advertised role, review resumes to shortlist candidates, schedule candidates for interviews, schedule interview sessions, share list of successful candidates with management, with the HR, then send out offer letters and engage successful candidates with resumption dates. So now for the qualifications, we have for the first one, educational level, we have a minimum of HND in human resource or any related field. Then for the experience, we have a minimum of, let's say we have 1 to 2 years experience as a HR recruitment assistant. Then for specific skills, we have communication skills, verbal and written. Then we have research, we have proactivity, we have recruitment, we have analyzing, and we have knowledge of human resources. Then for personal characteristics, we have integrity, we have emotional intelligence, we have interpersonal abilities, we have confidentiality, and we have software knowledge, like the use of MS Word, Excel, and some HR softwares. Then for certifications, we have that should be optional, but certifications from IIPM or CIPM.
You have 10 seconds more.
Okay, for the certifications, we put them, that one should be optional, but certification from IIPM or CIPM will be an added advantage. Sorry, because of the time, that's where we could stop for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. Please,
Yes,
can we give group 3 a good buzzer for work well done? Please, everyone, give group 3 good buzzer. Group 3, they've done a good work. In fact, it's like they are headhunters. Give them buzzer. You don't want to give them buzzer, I will soon come and collect your buzzer from you now if you don't want to give them. All right, so group 3, you've done a good work, but let me quickly make a comment. The duties, did you write them down, Mr. Joseph?
Yeah, we actually did part of it, but we couldn't, because of the time, we couldn't continue with others.
Okay, I have an observation. Ordinarily, we are supposed to allow everyone to observe, but because of time, I will do the observation for now. I observed that the HR assistant, most of his or her work was almost with the either what do you call it, the applicant, the candidate. Is just a few roles he or she has to do with the HR.
Yes, sir, we limited it to HR recruitment assistant, not just HR assistant.
Okay, HR recruitment assistant. All right.
Yes,
now,
sir.
that means if you have HR recruitment assistant, that means there should be a recruitment officer or recruitment supervisor who will report to the HR head.
Okay.
I'm just observing, right?
Okay, maybe we.
So since it's not a direct HR assistant, it's HR recruitment, that means there should be a HR recruitment officer or supervisor that he
of course, sir.
should be reporting to.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah. And that means there should also, if you notice the reporting line, he does from his desk to the external, and then from his desk to the HR manager, more of reporting what he's doing with the his assistance is almost more of external, but we don't really talk more of the internal.
Okay.
We didn't talk more about the internal. If you notice, I'm just talking from the ones ahead. He or she is to make posting for.
I put that job postings and recruitment process. I said it.
Okay, so that's okay. I heard job posting, so that's more of external.
Okay.
Where I'm actually going to is that there should be some places you said he or she should assist the HR recruitment officer in some other things that has to border internally.
Okay, noted.
So noted. Since his work is assistance, yes, he should assist both the HR recruitment officer in some things and then assist the candidates in some other things.
Okay, okay.
So that assistance there, that's where I'm just trying to point.
Okay, I omitted the assistance in the job in his responsibilities. Okay, I get it.
All right. Thank you so much for your work. Well done, Group 3. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're doing well. Please send me your account number. Let me see. How many people were in your group? Why is it I don't have it? Me that wanted to point, even if it's 36 billion, so that you people can go and enjoy life now.
I'm doing that right now. I'm getting everybody's account number.
Oh my God. All right. So Group 4, are you ready? If 4 is ready, please type 4. Let's see who will collect this 36 billion and go and do Salah with it. Okay, so Group 4, please, whoever is presenting for Group 4, can you please unmute and let's hear from you. Philippa, are you presenting for Group 4?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
I think so. Okay, we represent Group 4, and we're looking out for a customer relationship officer.
Philippa, are you a Nigerian?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that name sounds like
it's a Côte d'Ivoire. Yes, the name is Côte d'Ivoire.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Job title. What we're looking for is the customer relationship officer. So we're looking out for someone who works to rectify issues experienced by individual customers, as well as aims to improve the organization's overall customer satisfaction rating. The person will be reporting to the administrative manager. So the job overview is simply to respond efficiently to customers' inquiries and maintain high customer satisfaction. So the job experience is a minimum of 2 years experience working in a similar position in any current organization. Education background should be minimum of OND in mass communication. That's ordinary national diploma in mass communication. So we are looking for qualities of a good, someone who has good communication and interpersonal skills, efficient in reporting skills, should be social media savvy, and should also possess a fair skill with emotional intelligence, because he or she will be relating with customers in the organization. We are also hoping that our personnel should also possess some Microsoft Excel skill, should be able to work on the computer. Hello, did you say something? Should also work, be able to work on the system as well. Basically, we're looking for someone who can relate generally with our customers, and basically the person should be a patient person, should be very amiable in dealing with both.
Right now, 10 seconds to go.
Should be amiable enough to deal with customers and as well colleagues in the organization. Basically, that's what we are looking for. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Philippa, for Group 4. Please, can we give Group 4 good woza for work well done? Group 4, can we give them resounding woza?
Woza, woza, woza.
Why is the woza sounding like why the woza is not authentic woza? Okay, so well done work, Group 4. I'll quickly make an observation. Okay. So you have customer relationship officer. Yeah. Is it customer relationship officer?
Yes, please.
Okay.
An officer, not a manager. We're not looking for a manager. We actually want someone, we're not looking for a manager. We just want someone who will be as well working in the admin office.
Okay, the person should be working in the admin office.
Yes, please.
I know somebody posted something. I want to hear. Said the customer relations officer. Okay. So the person is to be reporting to the administrative manager.
Manager.
Okay. All right. Well, I did not get all the responsibilities, but let me leave it as it is.
They are in the chat room, sir. We dropped a copy of our presentation on the chat room, so you can get the responsibility there.
Okay. It seems I'm not getting the responsibilities. I'm only seeing job overview. After job overview, I saw work experience. I did not really see roles or job responsibilities. So I may not be able to. Okay, so well done work, group 4, for a work well done. Please, if you are still in this presentation till now, make sure you don't log out, because it seems it's only on this platform we have to share attendance for today. So please, if you have not logged out, please don't log out. Just make sure you are on board so that you can take your attendance. We just have one group left and we'll be off here. All right, group 5, if you're ready, please type 5 in the chat room. You have 5 seconds to decide that. 1, all right. Okay, so please, if you're presenting for group 5, kindly unmute and let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Simon, presenting on behalf of Group 5. Can I go ahead, sir?
Yes, please go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, the position we're recruiting for is a front office manager, front office officer, then reporting directly to the head of administration. Overview of the job role. We say the ideal candidates will act as the face of the company to ensure that clients or customers receive a heartwarming welcome, creating a positive first impression about the company, then coordinating all front desk activities in overall giving executive administrative support to the company. Now, the job responsibilities and duties, we itemize out of say 1, ensure that the front office is always tidy and all necessary stationaries and materials are in place. Also, ensure that there is timeliness and accurate customer service, handle all complaints and specific customers' requests. They must be able to troubleshoot emergencies and direct them to technical or support units, monitor stocks and office supplies, ensure proper mail distributions, do a follow-up on any client request, prepare and monitor office budgets, keep updated record of office expenses and costs. And finally, we say they should ensure that the company, okay, yeah, that's the last one anyways. Then we talked about, okay, the qualification now. We're looking at the minimum of BSc or HND in mass communication or relevant field. Experience, we're looking at 3 to 5 years experience, proven work experience in the same field, hands-on experience with machineries, thorough knowledge of customer service, have a good command of English, solid knowledge of Microsoft packages, excellent communication skills, which is I'm under skills now. Good emotional. Yeah, I'm here, sir. I'm talking, sir. Specific skills. We have,
okay. You have 10 seconds left.
Yeah, specific skills. We have good telephone etiquette. We have emotional intelligence, problem-solving skills, then personal character. We have interpersonal skills. Then certifications we're looking out for is optional. CIPM is going to be an added advantage. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Group 5. Please, can we give Group 5 a good boza for work well done? Let's give them resounding boza. Please go ahead, 1, 2, give them the boza. They deserve it.
Boza, boza, boza,
boza, boza.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's a good boza. All right, so we have the role is a customer service. Is it customer service officer?
No, front office.
Okay, front desk officer.
Yes.
Okay, and the person is reporting to
Head of admin / HR.
head of admin. Okay. All right.
Probably that's a full-time job.
Okay, I think in the next, all these people that need master's program for customer relations and marketing manager, in our next presentation, you have to develop a benefits compensation plan for these people. Let's know how much you have in mind. Okay. In our next, although that we have not really completed the compensation benefit, but when we are done with that, please, with what we've done, we are going to create a compensation plan for all of these offices we have, because I'm seeing manager, marketing manager, I say masters, and you still want the person to have license in marketing. And then those of us that are doing HR assistants, you want them to have CIPM license and IIPM license. So we want to know, let's be sure that you are really practicing HR, not personnel management. Okay. All right, the groups have done excellently well. And with what we've done so far, we're just going to do something very, very simple. Please, Mr. Simon, if you don't mind, can you please mute your mic so that the background noise? Okay. So all the group 1 people, can you identify yourself here? So we are going to create a very simple assignment. Who presented for group 1? That's I think it's in Kechi presented. Okay, so somebody from group 1, can you create a WhatsApp group for your group and post it here? I think I need to stop the sharings and the streamings and the recordings. We are done.